Wow. Live from New York. Look at the city behind me. And you know what? We're jumping in because guess where I am? It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And the journey to me being in this apartment by myself, able to scream full lung capacity, is what we need to be discussing today. Yes, I'm in New York City. Is that important? Sure. But what's more important is that for the first time in forever, I can scream at the top of my lungs and no one can hear me. And that might sound like a bad thing just because, murder capital of the world. I made that stat up. But here we are. We're touched down behind me, New York, if you can see it. I don't even know if it looks good in the reflection, but I just thought I'd give you this is the best spot in in town. So I'm in a crisp, unironed, and I don't know if the word crisp to me, I would just call any kind of white shirt crisp because I think that is the culture of a white shirt. However, so I describe what I'm wearing as a crisp white shirt. However, it is not crisp in the traditional sense, as in it is very wrinkled and crinkled because it was at the bottom of my bag because I'm disorganized. But okay, let's get into the episode of New York City. Live from New York. It's Saturday. It's Jess in the city. Breathe in. Welcome to What the Fuchs with Jess Fuchs. Now breathe out. And scream. Because here's what's pissed Jess off this week. So I'm in New York. I landed yesterday. Here we are today. And I am not organized. I can't lie to you. At this point in time, I am sitting here with all of my clothes strewn around me drying. Drip drying. There's no dryer here, which I would never complain about. My family is not a dryer family either. I think you are either a family that has a drying rack and perhaps a machine, but your family just doesn't use it, because we are one of those people. So you either have a machine and then you still dry in nature, or you don't have a machine and you dry, or you have a machine and you only do machine. Now, when you meet people who put all of their clothes indiscriminately into a dryer, that is a mental illness. I have met people, and I won't just classify them as men, but I will say 99 and every person that I can think of now that dries their clothes like a barbarian using a machine is a man, where it does not matter. And perhaps because they don't have intimates. They don't have a bra that costs them an arm and a leg to be able to support your titties. You give them an arm and a leg just so you can hold up the tits. You know what I mean? You cut off half your body so that the other lumps on your body that remain can be held up tight. They don't really have that. They've just got like t-shirts. You know what I mean? So, and their undies are basically made of t-shirts. That's what these men are dealing with fashion-wise. So they just throw everything into the dryer. And the few times I see that, I stand there mouth agape. I can't believe that that's how people behave. I had to show a man how to iron his shirt. A 40-something-year-old man. I had to show him how to iron his shirt. And I was shook to my core. He didn't know how to fill the water up into the iron. I mean, that is the kind of man who then, yes, of course, just throws everything into the dryer. I wouldn't be surprised if he just put a shirt in the dryer and then wore it out. God bless them. They can just do whatever they want, and isn't that beautiful? Now I'm in New York, and what do we want to talk about? The disorganization I'm experiencing is I threw everything from my suitcase into the washing machine yesterday upon arrival. I then hung it all out, and then I realized today, well, I'm going to have to leave the house and nothing is drying. So what does a girl do? Great question. She sits in a crinkled shirt in front of you, microphone in hand, just trying to burn time, just hoping that by doing this, my clothes will miraculously dry and then I can leave, because I have a wedding next weekend and I have to wear blue. I have a wedding this weekend. And I mean, there's just so much going on. There's so much I want to talk about. I just want to wrap up my Paris trip by saying on the last couple of days, I went to Versailles. Versailles is like where the king used to live. Also, that is parallel. My real life is paralleling my watch life at the moment because I've been gag watching for Outlander. I've discussed it very briefly. It's basically a TV show where a woman touches some stones in Scotland, beautiful place, and then just gets taken back to the 1700s, meets a man, rom-com. Well, not so sorry, not a rom-com, a dramedy. A dramedy. Let's go with that. Anyway, in the season I'm up to, what do you think happens? I go to Versailles, this beautiful gold, massive castle. no, not castle, it's palace, excuse me, not part of the royal family, don't know the terms. And then that day, so I do that, and then that night I come back and I watch an episode, and where the hell do you think they are? Versailles. I said, did I write this show myself, bitch? So I went to Versailles. Now, the only thing I want to say about that is beautiful, but so touristy. And when I say so touristy, I mean like the volumes of people. There's kids. There's like people taking tours. There's just so much happening. It really, the thing is, nothing ruins a good activity like a tourist. And I am saying that full well knowing I myself am a 1, 2, 3 tourist. But why do people have no social decorum when being tourists? Is it because we are from all different cultures and countries and places, so then everyone comes together and there is no shared unified, like, this is how we behave? Because I'm like, in another place, do people queue differently? Because that's what it feels like. It's so weird going to a tourist trap, a tourist place, and being like, this is chaos. Why is there no uniformity? I would have thought a line is an international language. We don't all need to speak the same language to understand. I stand here. You go behind me. What's that movie where they eat each other's ass and they're just human centipede? Let's all just human centipede. Also, humans are very good at following, like, I thought the whole thing was we're all very sheep-like. And then you go to a tourist location and it's fucking chaos. I'm like, where is your obsession and need and kind of deep desire to be a part of like the common behavior? Where is that kind of like need to be just like everyone else? Because isn't that the whole thing? Everyone's so scared to stand out and be different. And no, when you're a tourist in a fucking tourist trap, all of a sudden everyone wants to be an individual doing their own individual behavior, walking this way, zigzagging, moving, stopping in the middle of the road. You're walking through Versailles Castle, going through one of the main bedrooms, and you decide to stop in your tracks in the middle to do what? Check your audio guide, indicate, pull over to the left or the right of the space, and then do that. Why are people stopping walking in the middle of a street, in the middle of a space? Especially when it's busy. I don't understand. I will never understand that until I myself do it, and then I don't care, and then it's not a problem. You know what I mean? Because then there's a reason that I'm doing it. So Versailles was just over. It was swarming with tourists, myself included. It was raining, fine. I don't really mind the rain. And then there was like a little cafe. My friend Nick and I, we were at Versailles together, and when we were in the little cafe, I mean, again, talk about social decorum. These people are in my ass. Like they are, if the most intimate you've been with a human as of late is standing too close to me in a line, fuck off. If you are using me as a hot body, you're using me as like a hot water bottle to feel better, why are you standing? Literally at one point, a woman stepped so close to me that I cocked my head back to sneeze and I almost broke her nose. Why are you standing so close to me in a line? Take a beat. Take a step back. There's no need to ever be so close. And sometimes we've all been there. You miscalculate and you're a little too hasty with that step forwards. I understand that. You know what? Course correct. Step back. But these people at this place at Versailles, they were literally, it was like they didn't care. They did not care. It was way too close for comfort. And I can't tell if it's a touristy thing because that is the only time that I'm in really close quarters with people. So I'm like, why are you so close to me? And so in my regular life, there's enough space. There's enough stuff happening. Because then when I was in London, I went to this market, tourist market, Camden Market. I'm standing in line. I can literally feel the contours of this man's bum bag on me. At least I hope it was a bum bag. And I kept stepping forward and he would step forward. So then I slung my bag passive aggressively from under my arm to my back. But then it's bum bag. And then they're going to have a little baby bum bag because he is rubbing up against me. And I thought, oh, is he being a creep? I can't tell. He was with his daughter, his wife. I have no idea. He couldn't have cared less. So now I've gotten into the habit of just kind of elbowing someone. Like I'll just kind of look around, whip around, elbow someone. If you're too close to me, then I'm throwing elbows. And elbows, that's really not that much space. You know what I mean? That's what? 30 centimeters? If you are within my 30 centimeter bubble and I throw an elbow, you deserve it. What do I want to talk about with New York City? Thank you for asking. A couple things have come straight to mind. First off, I want to say, I did live in America for a couple years before the pandemic, and I'm at the point in my career now where I'm trying to decide, like, what does the future look like for me? And I think I have to be traveling a bit more. Like I have to be either based in London or based in New York or something, just in order to like kind of do a bit more and achieve some of the things that I've been working on. And when I first got to London, it's hard to say if I was miserable because I had just come off like a big creative project in Australia, touring like a show from like a few different places, and then kind of finishing that and being like, oh, deep breath, what do I do now? And so I was miserable because of like creative dopamine leaking out of me. And sometimes I use words that have like a scientific or sociological kind of connection, like, but make no, like I might sound like I'm putting the right smart words together, but like nothing I say means anything. And I know I've said this before, but sometimes I say something and I just feel like I need to put the asterisk next to it of being like, nothing I'm saying means anything. Because me saying that the creative dopamine leaking out of me sounds like that is something that is discussed. But I don't know. I don't know. So just keep that in fucking mind. So I was miserable in London. And then by the end of my time in London, I was getting on a bit of a groove. You know, I was like, oh, okay, I appreciate how clear the messaging is on the tube, on the train. You come to New York, it's almost like they think it's funny to have someone like speak over the loudspeaker and it doesn't make any sense. Like you'll be on the, like last night I was on the train, it was like, and I'm like, okay, so where are you not stopping? Whereas London, automated, we will not be stopping. Like that vibe. You know, here, doesn't give a fuck. Does not give a fuck. Which I kind of like that. That to me is fun. But so by the end of my time in London, I was getting in a groove. I was like, okay, if I had to, could I live here? Could I live here? That's what I was thinking. Every day I'm leaving. I'm walking, hitting boots on the ground every step going, can I live here? Could I do it? Will it make me want to kill myself? Where am I at? Could I do it? And I thought to myself, maybe I'll get to New York and I'll kind of feel similarly. Oh, I don't know. Can I live here? Can I live here? And then yesterday, I got to tell you, this place to me just feels like magic. I don't know what to tell you. It's hard to describe and crazy to believe, but I'm like, I just think that I'm supposed to be here. It's dirty, that it's overcrowded, people are angry, people are nice, it's beautiful, people dress like shit, people dress amazing. Paris, everyone's dressed amazing, it's intimidating. They're also all dressed the same kind of chic style, which it kind of works because in Paris they're all dressed chic and beautiful in the same way, and their buildings are all the same. They're all the same color, they're all the same style. There's variations just like the clothing, but overall it's a very uniform, beautiful city, as are the people. New York City, disgusting. Beautiful, stylish, cool, daggy, excited. Like it's just got everything, and I think that it's organized. It's like disorganized chaos, which those two negatives make a positive somehow, and I can't explain it. Whereas Paris feels like etiquette and organization, and like even the way that Paris is organized, it's a snail. The aesthetic, right? So that's like organized. It's like organized, like the shell. It's like a round little star. Here, sure, you're telling me this is a grid. It still doesn't make any sense because at one point we switched from numbers, then we're going letters, then we're going some names, and then we're going the streets fork. So, and I love it. And I love it. That's what I got to say about that. So I'm here, I'm fucking around, I'm just seeing what it feels like to be here at the moment. And then come next year, I'll make a decision as to what I do. But it is crazy to feel that kind of like, oh, magic feels disgusting to use the word, but I don't know. Do we think that people just have, I guess it's like if you believe in like soulmates or fate or any of that woohoo magic stuff, then maybe you do believe that I could be in a place that feels like the right fit for me. Oh, I don't know. That feels so strange to say. I'm trying to remain open-minded and have a good time in New York and just travel and have a good time. I don't know what else to say about that. The other thing I had been thinking about this week, because it was in the atmosphere, and I don't know if anyone's up on this, and I hope you're not, because this is my point. Taylor Swift puts out a new album. Then there's some diss track involved where she's kind of shitting on Charli XCX. Now, why am I talking to you about this? It's a great question. I guess what I think, and as I've gotten older, and this will connect, hold on. I look at the fandom of Taylor Swift, the fandom of Charli XCX, Ariana Grande, any pop, Sabrina Carpenter, and I wish I cared about anything as much as those fans do. The people who wake up every day and check their Taylor Swift fan account, who deconstruct Ariana Grande's lyrics and try to find hidden meaning. The people who, kind of back Charli on Twitter, like the people who are deconstructing and know everything about each of these people's lives to then know that, someone knew that Taylor Swift's lyric coincided with Charli XCX's boyfriend's they know this mind map of these people's worlds to know that this bitch is insulting this bitch. And I'm like, I wish I cared enough about anything. And I can't understand how people do. And I wish, I don't say it in a critical way, I say it in a jealous way. Because it must be like, it's almost, fandom is religion. If you love Jesus, you love him in the same way that people love Taylor Swift. It's a way, it's something, you read the Bible, you listen to her songs. You go to a sermon on a Sunday, you go to a Taylor Swift concert. You deconstruct all the messages and the meanings in the words of the Bible. You listen to her lyrics and find out that she's dissing Charli XCX. To have something that you are so faithful to, that you love, that you dedicate yourself to, that you are putting thousands of rhinestones on a bodice to go see a Taylor Swift concert. Tell me that's not the same as someone, reading a Bible and going to church all the time. It's the same. It's just humans finding something to dedicate themselves to. And the older I get, the more I do not have anything. And the more I realize I don't think I have that part of my brain that can find anything that I love enough. And that is so bad, because what do I spend my life doing then? What should I dedicate myself to, And I could say I dedicate myself to my comedy. Sure. But that's still about me. What can you dedicate yourself to that is bigger than you, that is more than you? People love Taylor Swift, and then they come together in community and they talk about Taylor Swift in community. Who's coming together talking about me in community? And then what, am I sitting there? What is this? Scientology? We can't do that. Okay? So I just think the Charli XCX and Taylor Swift, whatever's going on with them, I don't know, and I don't care. And if I had to put if I had to throw my hat in the ring, I'm going with Charli, not because of information, but because a couple times people have told me I look like her. And that's not true. It's just we both have thick eyebrows and dark hair, and I think I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that as a compliment, because I've never gotten a doppelganger, and the doppelgangers I do get, they're not complimentary. So if it's Charli XCX, I'll ride for you, Charli, just because I've been told that I look a little bit like you, and that's a compliment. But I'm so jealous of this, all this stuff in like pop media and all these people on Twitter and Instagram deconstructing all of the lyrics and criticizing them and deciding what they mean and who she's talking about and what this is and what that is. And then Charli says this, and then Julia Fox is sharing that. And I'm going, anyone caring about that, to that degree, you should consider yourself lucky you have something to throw your weight behind. Because some of us are just out here floating around, not caring about anything enough. And that is really hard. That's really shit. What am I supposed to do every day? I don't have a Taylor Swift fan account I'm following to go and see where she flew on her plane for her private jet and wasted so much money. I don't have any time to see where Charli XCX took all of her friends to go for her wedding. And these are just the headlines that I've seen online. And think about how juicy that is, I guess. I guess I could really dedicate myself to tracking Taylor Swift's flight paths, which someone does. That is a guiding principle. That is something that you can dedicate yourself to that is bigger and higher than you. Imagine I just, in my 40s, just become like deeply religious, become like a nun. I guess I could do it if I had to, you guys, because maybe it will give me something. I see, like, even if I wanted to give myself over to like religious beliefs or something, like something just stops me. It feels like a block. I'm like, what? No, I just can't, like, and maybe there are people who also feel that way, but then they just kind of go, fuck it. I'll just play the part, like maybe I'll act like a nun. Maybe that's enough. Who knows? I mean, I am sexually like a nun. Hey-o. Okay, you're welcome. All right. Oh, actually, speaking of horny, so I'm walking around Paris and I haven't decided how I feel in New York yet. But I was walking around my friend Nick, and I said to him, we were just discussing, how we're seeing all these couples We're on the train. We're seeing a couple, a girl puts her head on her boyfriend's shoulder. We're seeing little gay couples smacking each other's asses on the trains, like being cute, talking, flirting, people holding hands, old people, whatever. And I was saying, in London, I didn't feel like, I think in different cities, it makes you horny for different things. So, for example, in Paris, I was horny for boyfriend. And then in London, I was just horny. But I was also horny for being left alone because I was like, I actually hate being here. So I don't want anyone coming near me or touching me, or I don't want to have to talk to anyone because I don't want, whereas in New York, I'm like, what are you horny for? Paris, to me, I was not horny for just horny. I was horny for relationship. I was horny for like someone to stand in a line at Versailles with. And yes, I had that with my platonic friend Nick, but that is different because I was horny for boyfriend. And then I think you can be horny for maybe like horny for nothing, which is also something. You could easily, like sometimes, recently I have been a bit horny for nothing, where I'm going, I don't want to talk to anyone, I don't want to see anyone. So I think being horny for something in each city, it depends. I think New York is going to make me horny to be a slut because it's so much is happening, so many people around, there's so much going on that it kind of makes you just be like, oh my God, I want everything. You know what I mean? But Paris was and I guess that is probably why it's like the whole city of romance, city of love, because I think that it literally makes people horny for boyfriend. And horny for boyfriend is gender neutral term. Horny for partner, horny for girlfriend, horny for whatever you call your lover, right? So that was interesting because I was walking around and I go, what is this feeling so sudden and new? That's a wicked lyric. And I did diagnose it as horny for boyfriend because then London was just horny for not boyfriend, horny for sex maybe. And when I say sex, I don't mean sexual. And this is where it starts getting a little bit complicated because you think, oh, I'm talking about sex. No, there's a difference between horny for sex and actual sexual. Do you know what I mean? Is that crazy? It's the same. There's a difference between being like horny for boyfriend and actually boyfriend. Because boyfriend, I don't want you there all the time. But am I horny for boyfriend in line? And am I horny for boyfriend on train? Sure. But am I horny for boyfriend all the time? No. And that's where the chess pieces come out and it's confusing and I don't expect you to get it, but I expect you to understand. Do you know what I mean, the difference? Are you still with me, everyone? Now I've got to go because I'm sweating through this one shirt and I have to leave the house soon because I want to get a bagel. I have been craving a salmon bagel like a pregnant woman. I don't think they can eat salmon, but whenever I'm having a craving, even if I'm not pregnant, I go, must be pregnancy craving. The same way that every time my period comes around, I assume a tampon is in there from last month. There are certain things that women are just burdened with the immediate intrusive thought. You could be a virgin and still go, am I pregnant? And that's womanhood. And that's the way our bodies work. You could be craving a bagel with salmon and go, am I pregnant? No, you're just horny for bagel. You know what I mean? And that happens. But every single time I get my period, I am convinced a tampon is up there from last month. And I know some of you are too. And I'm not worried because I know that because you are and because I am, because we are family. I've got to go. Now, I'll see you next week. If you've got any questions. Anyway, thanks for listening. This was chaotic and we got nowhere. And I did complain about people standing too close, and that was my main grapple. That was my main problem this week, was how close these cunts are standing to me. And I know that you're going to be like, oh, well, you're in New York City, it's about to get worse. Yeah. And it's hot, mind you. I was convinced I was coming here to cold weather. Nay, people are in singlets and shorts and open-toed shoes. Wearing an open-toed shoe on a public transport mode, train, bus, whatever. You got to do it, but I hate doing it. Also, I've just been cutting my own nails because I'm too poor at the moment to get my nails done. So they're jagged as shit. I don't want anyone looking down seeing my kind of crinkle cut toenails. Fuck. At least I'm in New York. If I was in Paris, I would not be wearing an open-toe shoe. God forbid. At least New York City, who cares? I've seen people literally chewing their toenails on the train, cutting them, painting them, doing a full buff. I mean, like, whatever. There is no, in Paris, in London-ish, in Paris, there's etiquette of behavior with the general populace. Not the tourists, but the general populace. In New York, no one's looking. No one gives a fuck. I could walk onto the train and be like, ah! you know what people would do? They would turn the volume on their phone up. They're not checking to see if I'm okay. And I love that. I think that is a beautiful sentiment for a city. So I'll see you next week. I'll have some stories. I'm going to go. I've got tickets to see things. Let's hope I've got some anger points. And yeah, love ya. Mwah. Have a great week.